Starting a new Flutter project from scratch often means losing the first 3 days of your timeline to the same repetitive routine. You have to manually wire up RiverPod for state management, configure GoRouter for your navigation, and build out your clean folder structures by hand, step by step. Flutterseed replaces this process with a visual scaffolding engine. Instead of typing boilerplate, you map out a production-ready architecture visually and generate the code in about 60 seconds. For development teams, this creates a reliable baseline. Technical leads can lock their approved stack into a standardized template, ensuring every new hire starts from the same foundation. To execute this workflow, you only need 2 things: a web browser to design the application and your local Flutter environment to run it. Application initialization shifts from a tedious typing exercise into a top-down visual design choice. Step 1 is opening the Visual Builder. You begin with a clean digital canvas in your browser. Placing a feature-first architecture node establishes the core structural framework. We drag in RiverPod for state management and GoRouter for navigation, linking them directly. To finish, we add Firebase for our backend and a dual palette node to handle the theming defaults. As you place these nodes, a live dashboard continuously verifies your configuration, confirming the chosen packages are compatible and correctly mapped. This graph-first approach takes abstract architectural decisions and organizes them into a tangible, verifiable blueprint. Once the design is verified, you click Export. Flutterseed packages your entire configuration into a single downloadable compressed file. Behind the scenes, a deterministic templating engine translates the visual nodes dynamically. It generates the specific dark code required to wire your chosen packages together. You extract that downloaded file and open the directory in your local IDE. You now have a complete, neatly organized project folder. Reviewing the files, the necessary 0 boilerplate structures are fully populated. Environment variables, routing paths, and logging setups are already written and in place. Open your terminal window, launch your emulator, and run the flutter run command to execute the local build. The application boots immediately. Checking your terminal output, it passes all default Flutter lints right out of the box with 0 errors. Your running application is a precise, functional translation of the specific graph you designed. When development teams grow, they encounter setup drift. If 3 different developers initialize 3 projects from scratch, they will inevitably use slightly different patterns and create incompatible architectures. This structural drift accumulates. New developers spend weeks trying to untangle how different projects manage state and routing, leading to complex legacy code. Flutterseed includes built-in templates to establish a reliable baseline. Agencies can take this further by saving a proven graph as a locked preset for the entire team. Every new project is forced to begin from this pre-approved configuration. Developers can also bypass the browser entirely. Using the Flutterseed command line interface, they can pull these exact presets directly from their terminal. By standardizing the starting line, an agency ensures structural consistency across every repository and removes onboarding friction for all future projects. We went from an empty canvas to a running, fully configured application in a matter of minutes. This workflow cuts days of initialization down to seconds for solo developers, while enforcing rigid standardization for growing engineering teams. Visual scaffolding replaces the reliance on outdated boilerplate and prevents setup drift from taking hold in your agency. You can map out your next architecture and generate your codebase today at flutterseed.com, because the most efficient way to manage repetitive setup code is to simply never write it again.